Early in the morning, I left my base and had to kill a Zed that was hiding in my washing machine room. After that, I wanted to finish the clearing operation. For this reason, I went back in my car, and this time I used the horn 3 times in a row. I messed up a little the timing of the first fight, but at the end I still defeated all 3 without any major issue. They were really slow to reach my roof. I guess those were the weakest remaining of the Horde, and after defeating 13 of them, I changed my head bandage. After that, the next group of 3 was too close to each other. I was able to kill one of them while the others managed to knock me down. Once back on my feet, I pushed them both off the roof. Then once they came back, I killed them swiftly. At this point, I was getting bored and sat on the ground to read my book. 20 minutes later, I had to kill 6 of them with a good distance between each others. After reading for another 20 minutes, I killed the last 2. At this point, I felt safe to sit on my bed and keep reading the agriculture skill book for 30 minutes. Then I went outside to search for the remains. Not far from the parking lot, behind the tree line, I found the first. While killing him, another came from the west. A few steps in the same direction, I found the third. This one has both a watch and a belt to loot. Seconds after, a group of 4 started to approach me from different directions. To be safe, I went to my staircase and waited for them to come. Then on my roof, I safely finished 5 of them. After that, I went back downstairs where I found another one. I lured this one to the window, and once he climbed over, I killed him. He even had a beer and a belt for me. Next, I checked again behind the parking tree line. Initially, I started to fight with 2 of them. Time to deal with one and a larger group was on me. So I decided to retreat to the gazebo. One of them was quite fast. This allowed me to deal with him first. He had a paring knife for me. Initially, I wanted to deal with them, but by messing up my positioning, I gave enough time for the rest to join the fight. To save time and energy, I went in the house and guided them to the plastic chair's window. I was able to kill all 6 without any issue using the pipe stomp combo. Checking their loot, I found just a fillet knife. Before finishing looting, another one decided to receive a back treatment. At this point, to recover my breath, I sat in the living room and continued to read the agriculture skill book. Then I went back to the road and found a Zed to kill to the north. Seconds after, another emerged from the left trees. Time to deal with this one, and a third came from the north. During this fight, more started to move toward my location. After killing 2, I had to retreat till the gazebo. The first victim had a machete for me in almost perfect condition. Once looted, I strafed a little bit back in order to separate the second from the group, and once dealt with him, I took his watch. The next 2 was too close to each other, so I triggered the chase on one to make him follow me faster. This allowed me to finish easily the next 4 with my feet. Later, I killed the too slow one. The first beside the usual belt has even a pocket knife for me. Finally, I dealt with the last one under the gazebo. I was already tired, so I went back to read my agriculture book. But was interrupted by the neighbor that, after everything that happened, only now came to check on me. After teaching him how to be a welcome carpet, I allowed a newcomer to taste my boots. At this point, I wanted to check the corpses I killed before retreating, and had to add another 2 to that pile. After that, finally, the only noise I was hearing was of birds and wind. Going to the crossroad, I found also a Zed that had a hatchet stuck in his back. So I killed him and another zombie that came from the north. The hatchet had a pristine head but a bad handle. After looting it, a new enemy came from the north and another one from the west. After dealing with them, I looked around and understood that I'm finally free to start exploring again. There was one in the middle of the crossroad to defeat. Then a small horde was wandering in my direction. Instead of fighting them, I choose to reach the white car and deal with a new enemy near its location. Before the horde reaches me, I pushed him on the ground and finished with my pipe. So far, I collected enough weapons to start using them. This is why I equipped the 2 hatchets I had on me and tested their effectiveness on the 2 following me. Soon after, 3 extra voluntarily decided to be the next test subjects, followed by another one that brought me the magazine that teaches all the plants' growing seasons. I was out of breath, therefore I retired for a few minutes of reading and managed to finish my agriculture skill book. I left it in one of the corpses, considering that I don't need it anymore. After that, from my bookshelf I took all the magazines, recipes and schematics that can teach me something interesting. Then went back to the Horde location. One of them slowly started to get to me. With 2 hits of my hatchet he was dead. Later another couple wanted to be my next test subjects. The first tanked 5 hits and had a screwdriver, while the other fell on the ground from the first hit and I finished him with the second. He had also a fillet knife to loot. Then I approached the rest of the Horde, but they started to flee as soon as I went toward their location. I get it, an army of 600 wasn't able to deal with me, so he is scared. But I have no mercy, so I went closer to aggro the whole group in the hopes that they will feel strong together. My plan worked, and seconds after I finished the fastest one in 3 hits of my hatchet. It took 6 for the second and 2 for the third, while 7 for the fourth, same for the fifth. This last one had a beef jerky for me. Anyway, it was starting to get too dark, so I reached the wrecked car and took its radio, so I can dismantle it later for electrical experience and an extra flashlight battery. Anyway, by the looks of it, I killed the whole helicopter horde, so I would not need to fight on my roof anymore. This is why I went to the pile of dead. Put in pause the game to not risk to get the corpse disease and started to search the 400 corpses for any loot I could take before they will start disappearing. It took literally 30 real-life minutes to go through all of them and loot any useful item, but beside the usual stuff, I didn't find anything special. Most importantly, I found and disabled all watches' alarms. Then I went downstairs and removed the batteries from all radios I have, before depositing all of the electronic devices in its bag on the table. Plus, to free some space on the table, I moved the radios I placed on top of it inside the electronic bag. After that, I placed down a satchel on their place, so I can use it as an extra storage. Then I went in the basement and picked up the 3 crates, only to move them to the right from the closet. In the first, I placed all of my small tools like forks, trowels and knives. In the second, my best weapons that are the 2 jawbone war axes, 1 machete, 1 meat cleaver and a spear, found so far. Then I took the trauma bag containing more tools and the rifle I left on my table, so I can separate small utility tools from actual good weapons using the crates. Plus, I decided to use the 3rd crate for firearms, and for now I have only the rifle mentioned before inside it. Once everything was sorted, I went to bed.